Hey, welcome to this gentle yoga practice. Coming to a comfortable position. So you could start seated or lying down. You could be sitting in a chair, whatever is going to be best for your body at this particular moment in your day. Okay, so just making yourself comfortable. When you're ready, you can close your eyes and feel how that helps you to shift your focus inward. Notice where you're touching the floor. So there are parts of your body that are resting on the ground or on a support like a chair or a cushion. And just feel that you can let go through these parts of you into the floor. So there's this subtle downward movement. So we want to be letting go into the ground because that allows us to get support back from the ground. So when we let go into the earth, we get ground reaction force back into our body as support. It just allows us to sort of let go of the tension, let go of some of the effort in us, let the ground support us, and we receive that back so that we don't have to work so hard all day at holding ourselves up off of the floor. We can use the ground to get the support for us. Okay, so we're letting go. You can feel your breath and just the gentle coming and going of your breath. So you can follow your breath in. It moves in through the nose, down through the throat, into the lungs, and it moves back out. You can follow as well from the lungs, back up through the throat and out through the nose. And just nice and easy. Maybe you're slowing it down a little bit because you're now aware of it, but not with a lot of effort, just ease. Just more aware of your breath. Okay, and then check in with your body and just notice where you're at today. Meet yourself where you're at. And that's really what we want to practice doing throughout our day and in this class, right? We're just allowing our awareness to remain as best we can with our body and meeting ourselves where we're at for each of our postures. And we want to find a way to be moving our body that doesn't hurt. It should feel nurturing and nourishing, not painful. We want to maintain the ease and the movement. And in order to do that, we want to keep paying attention. Right? We just want to keep noticing, being curious. Okay? Take a slow breath in. Let your breath go. Relax your breath. And for our postures, we're going to start on our back. So you can come on down to your back on the floor. Okay, as you come down, you can just lift the legs up and give the knees a hug in, and they can be hugging in close together or wide apart, whatever works for you. Just sort of letting your back settle down to the floor. Okay, and then when you're ready, hands are going to land on the knees. And you're going to begin to circle the legs. So they're going to move the same direction in a circle. So you can feel your back on the floor as it makes a circle, right? So at some point, the back of the pelvis is more on the ground. and then sort of one side of the pelvis, and then as the legs come in, the lower back's on the floor, and then the other side of the pelvis. So those different contact points with the ground. And you've got a little bit of movement at the low back and a little bit of movement at the hips, right where the thigh bones come into the pelvis. Okay, let your circles move the other direction. You're moving at a pace that works for you. Okay, come on back to the middle. And then one at a time, put each foot on the floor. Your fingertips could come and find your hip bones, which is very close to where your thigh bones come into your pelvis. Okay, and then you can just gently rock the pelvis. So you're going to tuck the tail under, which will flatten the lower back to the floor. Then you're going to tip the pelvis the opposite direction, which will increase the distance between the lower back and your mat. Okay, so just gently go back and forth. And it's not about range. So don't feel like you have to get into this great big movement. Feel more into the actual movement of it and just let that be the goal. Let that be the intention. Just this gentle moving of your pelvis, which is loosening us up at the hips and loosening us up at the lower back. Okay. So then you're just going to let the pelvis find neutral. You may want to rest your knees together here, which might mean you take your feet wider. Okay, if that's not comfortable, a neutral leg bone position is fine. We're going to come up into the shoulders. So let the arms lift up off of the floor. So your fingertips are towards the ceiling. Bring the tips of your thumbs together. So your first fingers and your thumbs are making L shapes, and the palms of the hands are pointing towards the feet, towards that same direction. Okay, so from here, you're going to lift your fingertips up towards the ceiling, which is a movement that happened at the shoulder. And then you're going to drop the shoulders back down towards the mat. Okay, so lift up, keeping the arms straight, and lower down, keeping the arms straight. Okay, so we're loosening up at the shoulders. So a little bit of the shoulder blades moving on the back. Keep the jaw soft, the chest easy. Looking for the movement. Don't forget the down part. Elbows stay straight. Okay, lift and lower. And then let the hands come apart. Let the elbows go wide. So the upper arms are dropping to the floor. Your palms are still facing towards the same direction as your toes are pointing. Okay, your elbows are at shoulder height or a little lower. Keep the shoulders relaxed and let the arm bones roll so that the palms face more towards the floor. And then they're going to roll the opposite way so the palms face more towards the ceiling. Okay, so just find your easy range. Okay, so try not to let the shoulders pop up. Okay, so we're just resting the shoulders down, and all we're doing is moving the upper arm bones in the shoulder sockets just as far as they go either way. Okay, sometimes we need to slow the movement down. The only part of you that's moving is your arms. Shoulders staying easy. Okay, so when we play in that range that doesn't hurt or doesn't increase pain, then we might have found that our range grew a little bit. You don't want to force anything. All right, now let your arms come open to the floor. So palms are facing the ceiling now. So just relax there for a moment, relax your back, wiggle at your shoulders if they need a little bit of movement. Okay, and then we're going to let the arms lift up off of the floor. So the palms are going to come together, and then the arms are going to come back down. Just easy, slow, right? So there's this resistance, there's this weightedness to our arms that we are lifting up against. And then when we bring the arms back down, we're going to have to sort of manage that movement back down. So there's an ask there for a little bit of strength and stability as well. Okay, see if you can coordinate the movement so that both arms are moving at the same pace. You're breathing. Everything else in your body is as relaxed as it can be. Right? And just feel it. Right? Just notice what you notice. So how heavy your arms feel maybe as they come down, or maybe how heavy it is as they feel when they come up, and that point where they shift from being heavy to being light. Maybe there's tingling. Okay, do one more. Slowly up. Right, slowly, and then slowly back down. Okay, your arms can come all the way down to the floor when you're ready. Now put them in a comfortable place. So they're welcome to stay wide or come closer beside you or come to your body if you like. Shoulders relaxed. We're going to turn the head. So turn the head to the right. Relax your shoulders. Soften the jaw. You might feel your breath. Okay, and then turn your head to the left. And relax your back. Soften your eyes. Okay, let your head come back to the middle. So you're back at neutral. Okay, let your hands come to your belly or to your rib cage. And begin to notice the breath coming to the hands. So when we inhale, the body fills like a balloon. So the belly, the rib cage, the lungs. When we exhale, it empties just like an emptying balloon. Okay, so if we can be soft through the belly, and you can see if you can let the belly expand with the breath. So take your time. Slow breath in and letting go of all of the breath. Taking your time. One more. Okay, relax that breath. All right, move the right arm up alongside the right ear and roll onto your right side. So you can support your head with something, whether it's your right arm, or if that's not comfortable, you could use a pillow or a bolster perhaps. Okay, your knees are stacked in front, so the feet are in line with your back. Okay, and then letting the right hand can come to the hip. You can feel the pelvis underneath the right hand. Okay, we're going to lift the right leg up and move the thigh bone backwards and forwards. Okay, we've actually lifted the top leg up, which is our left leg. Okay, so that left leg is coming forwards and moving backwards. Okay, and you're just moving that leg just as far as it goes in each direction without moving the pelvis a whole lot. Right, so we want to be at the hip, which is where the thigh bone meets the pelvis. If we're moving our pelvis, then we're actually in our back. And we'd like to be working at the hip here. So where that left thigh bone is coming into and meeting the bowl of the pelvis. Okay, forward and then backward. Now stay back. So you might just let the leg move back and you might just stay there. Okay, you might be able to reach with the left hand back for the left foot. You could also use a strap. So you could loop a strap around the left foot and hold the strap near your left shoulder if you want to. Okay, so we're bringing the heel in, trying to have the thigh straight up and down. Okay, sometimes it points up a little bit more, and eventually over time, we just want that leg to be parallel to the floor. Okay. So the knee is pointing down the short end of the mat. Okay, easy in the left shoulder. Okay, and then let the left leg go. Let it come back and stack back on top of the right leg. Okay, hand back at the left hip, the left side of the pelvis. Feet are touching and they stay touching, but roll the left leg open. So keep the feet touching as the left leg lifts up off the right and then bring it back down. Okay, so this is like a clamshell, opening up and then coming back down. So again, you want to pay attention and you want to feel that you're just moving that thigh bone just as far as it moves. So we don't want to roll the pelvis. Okay, we want to keep the pelvis so that the left hip is stacked on top of the right. So the pelvis is quiet and the leg is what is opening up and coming back down. So it might be little. So that's okay. Okay, one more. Okay, let the leg go. Relax for a moment. So anything that's on, just let it relax. Okay, then we're going to take the left leg long. And we're going to lift the left leg up and lower it back down. So lifting away from the floor and then back towards the floor. So your leg bone is moving away from your midline and then back towards, maybe across your midline. Lift and pause. You don't have to pause at your full amount. Maybe you pause part way because we have added a pause. Okay, and then let the leg go. So relax. Okay, come onto your back. Okay, just take a moment there. Your sides are not going to feel the same anymore. Okay, and then when you're ready, you're going to roll onto your left side. So the left arm is going to come up and you're going to roll over onto that left side. So your head could rest on your left arm or on your bolster or your pillow. Okay, knees are bent in front. You're directly on your side. Okay, right hand on the right hip. Right thigh, so top thigh lifts up off of the bottom thigh. Right thigh comes forward, flexion, and backward extension. Okay, so your knee is staying at the same angle and you're moving at your hip, forward and back. Just freeing up that joint. So just gently. So move in the range that doesn't hurt or that doesn't increase your pain if you started with pain in this hip. Okay, so forward and back. We're just looking for movement. Think about warming up the tissue. Okay, when you're ready, the leg is going to stay back. So the heel towards your buttock on that right side. Your knee pointing down the short end of your mat. You can use your strap here. You could reach with your right hand if you like towards that right foot. Bring the heel in. Relax the right shoulder. Front of the thigh is lengthening and maybe front of the hip. Okay, you're resting into your left side. Okay, let the right leg go. It's going to stack back on top of the left. Okay, your hand can come back to that side of your pelvis. Feet stay together. You're going to lift, open up the right leg. Okay, so it's rolling open and then it's coming back down. Okay, so pelvis is quiet, so you don't have to lock it down. It's just quiet. So we're not really moving the pelvis. We're just moving the right leg and letting it roll open and letting it come back down. Okay, so the driver of this is in sort of through the glutes and the rotators. So you could put your right hand on your right buttock if you want to, on your glute there, and you can sort of feel the muscles as they shorten to lift the leg open. And then as they sort of relax a little bit to let the leg come back down. The back is quiet. The ribs are quiet. The shoulders and jaw are quiet. Okay, one more. Okay, let the leg go. So rest, relax for a moment. Okay, and then you're going to take your right leg long, and it's going to lift up and lower down. Okay, so lifting away from the floor and then towards the floor. So your leg bones moving up towards the ceiling and then down. Away from your midline and back towards it. So you can feel this outer hip, outer thigh. Okay, one more time up and find a place to pause. And breathe. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Okay, and then let the leg come down and let it relax. Okay, take a breath. And let your breath go. And then come on to your belly. So roll yourself over. Make a pillow with your hands. You can rest your forehead on your hands. Just sort of let your body settle there. Feel your breath. And you're going to feel your breath as it meets the floor. Right? So you might notice it through the chest. You might notice it through the belly. Slowing the breath down. Just letting it become what you are aware of. So you're following the inhale and the exhale. Taking your time. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to come to our diamond press. So bring the tips of the thumbs together and the tips of the first fingers. So those digits make a diamond shape. Okay, that's going to go onto the floor off the top of your head. So your forearms and your palms are down on the floor. Your elbows are wide. Okay, we're gently going to lift the chest and the head, and they lift as one unit to come up off of the floor. Your gaze stays down at your mat. Okay, lower back down. Okay, so lifting up, so it's a gentle back bend, lowering down. Okay, you could inhale up, you could exhale down. Okay, let your awareness come to the upper back in between the shoulder blades and just feel like that's where you get to lift from. Okay, so it's not that the arms are pushing you up, it's that you're lifting from the upper part of the back. Easy shoulders. So do two more. And one more. And then come on down and rest. So let your head come back to your hands. And come down into the legs. You're going to bend the right knee and let the right heel come in towards your body. Okay, and then the right leg's going to come all the way down, and then you're going to switch. So left heel comes in, and then all the way back down. Okay, so just alternate. Now, if you're uncomfortable, maybe through your back, or if it just feels like a little too much, you don't have to bend the knee as much, right? Maybe you just want to lift the foot up off the floor and then alternate that. So you're choosing how close in to bring that left heel behind you. Okay, the head is resting, shoulders, arms. Okay, there's not a lot of movement in the ribs or the pelvis. Okay, if you wanted a little more, as one comes up, the other one can come down. But make sure you don't lose your awareness when you add that level of complexity to your movement. So if it's better for you to do one at a time, stay with that. Okay, is your pelvis quiet? So if it's rocking from side to side as you bend your knee, don't lift so high. Okay, see if you can just bend the knee the amount that the pelvis stays quiet. Which doesn't mean it's locked down. It just means that it's resting. Okay. When that feels complete, you're going to let your feet come back down to the floor. Okay, and then we're going to come into a supported cobra. So you're going to bring yourself back up onto your forearms. Now you might tuck your elbows underneath your shoulders. If you feel like you're too high here, then you're going to slide your elbows a little wider apart. Okay, and that will lower your belly and the lower ribs down to the ground. Okay, so if you're up on your forearms with your elbows under your shoulders, it's a deeper back bend. So listen to your back. Okay, okay, so gently, you can gently sort of press down through the forearms, just gently so that the spine still gets to feel long in that arc. Shoulders are away from the ears. Jaw is soft. Maybe the legs can let go a little bit. And the breath can just come and go. Maybe into the chest or into the heart space. Okay, one more breath. Okay, when you're ready, come down and then come to table. So onto all fours, so hands and knees. Okay, come to cat. So tuck your tail gently round your back up towards the ceiling, let your head hang. Okay, come back to table and then come to child's pose. So if you like wider knees, take them a bit wider. Your big toes can come together. Your seat can go backwards towards your heels. And then support your head. So bring your upper body forward and support the head. The floor is fine to support your head if your head can get down there. Okay, let your awareness rest on your breath as it moves into your belly. So soften the belly. Okay, as you're ready, we're gently going to shift back up. So you can come back up onto all fours. And then we're going to bring the right foot forward and the body's going to come up. Okay, so wherever you get here is fine. You've got the left knee on the ground, right foot on the floor. Both knees are at 90 degrees. Okay, we're going to turn towards the right. So the left hand could come to the right leg and you can rotate the spine towards the right. So right hand can just be at the hip. your tall, easy shoulders. Maybe you want to turn the head a little bit further right. You could also turn your head to the left. Right? So the movement that we're doing or the places we're choosing to be still, you want them to feel nourishing. So keep checking in with where you're at and keep meeting yourself where you're at. Okay, unwind your head and then your heart. So you're facing the front. So we're going to come into a side bend next. So the right hand can come to the hip and you're going to tip to the right. Now you're going to choose where this left arm goes, whether it comes up and over top, whether it maybe you put your wrist on the top of your head, maybe you put your hand on your shoulder, maybe you leave the left arm beside you. Okay, you could put the right forearm on the right thigh. Okay, sort of keep the elbow tucked. Just go till you feel the right amount. So we're not trying to overdo, we're not trying to underdo. We're just trying to meet ourselves with what feels best at this moment. Okay, come on back to vertical. Okay, we're going to put the right knee down on the floor next to the left knee. Okay, and then we're going to switch feet. So step your left foot forward and we twist. So turn left, so the right hand can come to the left leg, left hand can come to the hip. Drop the shoulders, feel tall. Maybe you want to add rotation into the neck by turning the head a little further to the left or a little back to the right if you like. Okay, or you can keep it neutral. Okay, unwind the head and then the heart, so you're facing back towards the top of the mat. Okay, side bending left, so left hand to the hip, tipping to the left, choosing where along this arc you want the right arm. You could bring the left forearm to the left thigh. Okay, if you're feeling tippy, just gently walk your left foot a little bit more to the left, right? So we give ourselves a bit of a bigger base that we feel a little bit steadier. Or you don't have to tip so far. Okay, come on back to vertical. All right, from here we're going to come up to standing. So if you can get up to standing from here, you can come from here. And if you want to come a different way, then you can come a different way. All right, so find yourself in your mountain pose. And we do in a moment start with balance. So if you want to have a chair next to you or be closer to a wall, you absolutely can do that. Okay, when you get settled, you're going to take a look at your feet, make sure they're where you think they are. So your toes all pointing the same way. Okay, your thigh bones are parallel, your knees are not locked. Okay, you can play a little here, so you could shift weight forward into the balls of your feet. You could shift weight backward into your heels and just sort of find the edges of that so that you can find the place where it feels steady, right? So we can find our center. Nice and easy. Okay, you can feel the floor underneath your feet, whatever that texture is that you are standing on. Okay, so we're going to let our weight shift into our right foot, and you're just going to lift the left heel up. Keep the ball of the foot or the toes on the floor. So we're just stretching out the bottom of that left foot. So as you've lifted the heel up, you can feel the stretch maybe in the toes of the left foot, and you can play with your weight being closer to the big toe or maybe over towards the little toe. Just sort of letting there be that nice stretch into the upper part of the bottom of the foot. Okay, then we're going to flip the foot over. So release that and bring the top of the toes to the floor. So you're not on your tiptoes, right? You're not on the tip top of your toes. You've got the top of the toes on the ground. Now, the further back you put this left leg, the more you straighten it and the more you press, it's going to make it, might give it a deeper stretch. So you can always play with those things to get the right amount of stretch for you. So you might feel lengthening in the front of the toes or in the top of the foot or in the front of the ankle or up through the shin. You can also do this sitting in a chair. Okay, let that go, and we're going to circle out the left ankle. Just move it in a circle and switch directions. A little bit of balance. Okay, and then step the left foot to the floor. Okay, so just take a moment there. You can feel what's happening in the right foot and in the left foot and in the right leg and in the left leg. Okay, and then when you're ready, you're going to shift into the left foot, lift the right heel up, and then sort of press down through the toes. Okay, so that heel has come up off the floor. It might serve you to lift and lower the heel as well. Okay, as opposed to coming to a static place, you might feel better to gently lift and lower, sort of to come out of the posture and then into the posture. And again, you're moving gently, we're moving with awareness so that we're meeting our body where it's at. And then there's no need to really overdo or underdo. Okay, top of the right foot to the floor. So you're choosing how far back you're taking the leg, you're choosing how straight the leg is, how much you're sort of pressing down. So even just there might be enough for you today. Okay, or you might want a little more. Okay, let the shoulders go. Soften that left knee, so your standing leg. Okay, and then let the right foot come up and circle out the ankle a couple of times in one direction, and then you can go the other way. Okay, and then find your mountain pose again. So let your right foot come back down to the floor. Okay, we're going to lift the left foot, and you're choosing how high to lift the knee. And then put that foot back down on the floor and do the same thing with the right one. So we're alternating, so you're sort of marching. Okay, just take it slow so that you get to do the balance on the side and you get to see how high that knee lifts. You can feel how it feels to balance in one foot. And then right away, you can feel how it feels to balance in the other foot because we probably have one side in which we feel more stable on. And that's just something to notice, right? It's not a criticism, it's not a judgment, it's just something to notice. If you wanted more, you're going to bring the opposite hand over. So as the left leg comes up, the right hand crosses to the left leg, and then you switch. So your arms are crossing your midline. Okay, so when that feels complete, you're going to come back to mountain pose. So just land both feet back on the floor. All right, we're going to step the left foot back into pyramid pose. So we've got to step back with the left foot. Our feet are on separate railway tracks. They're not on a balance beam. Okay, so they're on separate railway tracks, toes pointing forward. Now find the creases of your hips with your hands. So that's where your thigh bones are meeting your pelvis. So it's not your waist. It's not the top point of your hips. It's sort of down lower. Okay, so this is the point we would like to be folding from. Okay, so you want to roll the pelvis sort of over those fingers so that the pelvis rolls forward. Okay, then you could bring your hands to your right thigh. You could use blocks underneath your hands. So there is the option here certainly to keep your back straight. Okay, if you know it's safe for your back and you want to round it, you can. Try not to just hang though. So try to have the hands on something. Okay, option, bend the back knee and let your weight shift back. So there you might want one hand on each thigh. So your right foot can stay flat, or you can lift it. The heel will stay on the ground. So this right leg is straight. So that we're asking for a little bit more length in the right leg. Okay, and lots of the left leg in this bit of a squat, right? So strength. Okay, we're gonna come back up. Okay, so shift yourself back up, step your left foot forward, and then you can switch feet. So right foot goes back a step. You can find the creases of your hips with your hands. Okay, so that's your reminder just to tip from your hips, to bring the heart forward. Okay, maybe hands on the left thigh or on the blocks or on the floor. So listen to your body. If you like, bend the right knee, push your sitting bones backwards, maybe hands on each thigh, maybe lift the bottom of the left foot up. So you're on the left heel. Okay, flatten the foot, straighten the right leg, and then come on back up to the top. Okay, step your back foot forward. Give a shake out, whatever needs to shake out. Oh, and then come on up and roll out your shoulders. Okay, just about movement, not about range. Okay, you can take it slow. All right, then let the shoulders go. Okay, we're gonna come to our eagle pose arms. So let the arms come up in front so the forearms and palms are facing and elbows are approximately in line with your shoulders. Left elbow into the crook of the right arm. Backs of the hands can come together or the palms, or simply hold opposite shoulders. Or if you just want to work the left arm, then you're going to sort of hold the left elbow with the right hand and let that left arm be towards your midline. Okay, now no matter where you are, relax shoulders. Okay, feel your feet on the ground so that your weight is resting down. Okay, soften your jaw. Take a couple of slow breaths into the space in your body that is created by your body in this shape. Okay, gently let go of the arms, give them a shake. Okay, then we're gonna come back up and we're gonna do the opposite side. So right elbow into the crook of the left arm, backs of the hands together, or the palms together, or your hands are resting on opposite shoulders. If you're on opposite shoulders, your arms rest down. They don't have to be lifting up. Okay, or if you just want to do one arm, just do the right arm. Okay, so then the left elbow, or right elbow rather, is held by the left hand. Okay, so the shoulder blades have slid away from the spine. You don't need to squeeze the arms and you don't need to add extra effort through the chest. So just see if you can soften the face and the jaw and the shoulders and the chest. And again, just let it be the shape. So don't add effort to the shape. Okay, letting go. The shoulders a roll, the arms a shake. Okay, just let everything settle. Let your left ear drop towards your left shoulder. Okay, Let your right ear drop towards your right shoulder. Take a breath. Okay, let your head come back to neutral. Turn your head to the left. Take a breath. Heavy arms. Turn your head to the right and take a breath. Okay, move your head back to neutral. Okay, we're gently going to fold here. So you could find the creases of your hips again with your fingers if you like. Okay, you're going to bend your knees. You're going to roll the pelvis forward. Okay, hands or forearms might come to your thighs. Knees are bent. Okay, you can come right upside down. Put your hands on something though, whether it's the floor or the blocks or your legs. Okay, so just listen to your body, listen to your back. So knees are bent. Okay, and then when you're ready, make your way down to seated. Okay, send the legs forward of you as you come down to the floor here. So we're going to come to staff pose. So you can move your glutes out of the way behind you if you like, so you can get your sitting bones down on the floor. Okay, it can be also helpful to sit on something here if you want your hips up a little bit. Okay, that's especially helpful if your back is tight or your hips are tight or the backs of your legs are tight. Okay, so option here is to bend the knees up. So if you find the backs of the legs really tight, then put that little bend in them. Okay, the hands are on the floor next to the hips, a little bit back. Okay, you're going to roll the shoulders back and down. Your arms might be straight. Okay, but it's more important that the shoulders are down than that the arms are straight. Okay, so what we're held by here is the core, right? We're nice and steady through the core, so this should feel like effort. And you're steady through the legs. So you've got the tops of the feet coming gently towards you with the toes relaxed. So there's a certain amount of effort in through the legs and in through the torso here to keep us upright. Okay, relax. Okay, so you can let the legs fall. You can give yourself a little slouch there if you want. Okay, and we're gonna come back into it. Okay, so roll the legs so the knees face up, the toes come up. You're choosing maybe to bend the knees. You're lifting the heart, pushing down through the hands, rolling the shoulders back and down. Breathing. Imagine your feet are pressed against a wall. Right, so that way there's no rolling in or out. Okay, one more breath. Okay, let it go. So you can move your hands back a little bit. You can rest back into your hands, feet a little wider. Relax your legs. Then you're going to roll the legs in and out. So in and out. So we're just looking here for an easy rhythmic movement. And you can notice your thigh bones are where the movement is coming from, right? So the thighs are rolling towards the midline and away from the midline. And you want a little bit of, as I said, a rhythmic movement to it. So you could think of this pace. So in, 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 in. So it's not about range, just go with the movement. So just sort of let it be a little bit free. Just rolling in and out. It's kind of like you're giving your legs a shake out. But it's not just your feet that are moving, not just your lower legs. Upper legs are rolling too. Sometimes we forget about those and just let it come from the lower part, and we want it to come from the hips. Okay, letting go. Come on down to your back. Okay, you could give your knees a hug in if that helps your back settle to the floor. And then one at a time, each foot would come back to the mat. Maybe arms are in a T. Okay, you're just going to let your knees roll to one side, and that opposite hip can lift. So if your knees have rolled to the right, your left hip has come up. Okay, and then you're going to go the other side. So knees go to the left, maybe pelvis goes to the left. Okay, so you're choosing your pace. You're just gently going side to side. So if you don't want the twist, then you're just moving legs. Okay, so you don't have to move the pelvis. And you absolutely can if that feels sweet in through the lower back. So what is quiet? The head and the shoulders and the arms and as much of the rib cage as you can is quiet. So it's not locked down. The moving parts of us are legs and pelvis. And the belly, the back, lower back. All right, so you're going to work your way back to neutral, to where your feet are on the floor. You're going to check in. Okay, so next is our relaxation. So if there is another stretch that your body would like to do before that, you can do it. And then you want to come into whatever position you're going to relax in. So if you would like feet on the floor, maybe knees rest together, which means feet are a little wider. You could put a bolster or blocks under your knees or a pillow. You can also take the legs down to the floor if that's comfortable for your back or your hips. And you might want to support the head. You do not have to lie on your back if you would rather be laying on your belly, or if there's a different posture, you could lie on your side if you wanted to. Okay, so just something your body can relax into. Okay, you're going to feel where you touch the floor. So where is the ground and where is your body in contact with the ground? Because those are the points we can let go through. Right? And we get that rebound of energy that we mentioned right at the start. And here it's coming in as nourishment, right? As support. That ground reaction force. Okay, and we receive that by letting go. Okay, you can feel that your breath is happening all on its own. Okay, what we're going to work with here is a progressive muscle relaxation, or our squeeze and release. Okay, so come all the way down to your feet and add tension or effort into your feet. So you could curl your toes in. You could also stretch them wide. Okay, you never have to go to 100 here. If you just want to add a little bit of effort, that's always fine. You're choosing. Okay, so effort in the feet and then let it relax. Okay, engage your legs. So your upper legs, your lower legs, your ankles, your feet. So you can do those again if it helps you. So you can feel what it feels like when there's tension here and when there's effort here. Right? We can sort of register that in our awareness. Okay, and then feel the letting go. Okay, and then feel like you can probably let go a little bit more. Okay, easy breath. Come up into the belly and engage the belly. So we're sinking the navel center in towards the spine. So we're hugging our abdominal organs towards our back. As you pull in and you try to breathe, can you feel that tension and that bracing through the belly limits our breath? Okay, relax the belly and take a breath. Okay, when you're ready, next, you're going to engage the rib cage. So adding tension maybe through the chest or the upper part of the back, or just feeling like you contract, you squeeze the ribs inward. So bracing or rigidity, it might feel like, or just locking them down. Okay, let it go and take a breath into the ribs. So when you breathe in, the ribs expand. And when you breathe out, the ribs relax. Okay, come up into your shoulders and your arms and your hands. So lift your shoulders towards your ears and then lift your arms off the floor and squeeze the hands into fists. So squeeze the hands, see if they feel even. Okay, arms are tight, shoulders are squeezing, and let go. Okay, and just let them all settle out. And then come up into your face and crinkle up your eyes. So you can press your lips together and crinkle up your nose. You could press your tongue up or down. You can tense up your jaw. And then relax your face. Okay, do one more of the whole body. So your face, shoulders, arms, hands, chest, belly, back, legs, feet. So everything is on. Tremendous strength. Little room for breath. So let it go. Okay, feel the letting go. Feel the turning off. Take a deep breath in. And let go some more. Okay, if you need another deep breath or two, you are welcome to do that. And if that starts to feel like too much work, then just let it go. So letting go is sort of this continuous thing, right? There's always something that we can let go of, and that's okay. It's sort of just the way we are. And it's more that we open up to allow it to happen than that we're making an effort to let go all the time. So it's not that we're making the effort to let go all the time. It's more that it's a possibility and we're just inviting in ease. And we are recognizing and feeling the feeling of less effort, less tension, more ease. So can we feel that? Okay, so just notice where you're at, how you are, how your body is. Maybe your breath feels different. Just how are you? Okay, if you are able to stay here, then you're welcome to stay. If you are needing to move, then take a breath and let it go. Start by moving fingers and thumbs and toes. And you can follow this progression whenever you need to come back, even if it's 10 minutes from now. Okay, eventually you're going to circle out the hands and the feet. So you're moving at your wrists and your ankles in both directions. And then you're going to listen to your body. If what it wants to do is stretch, then the arms can come up and the legs can go long. Okay. Maybe you're going to walk your feet to the floor. And then maybe one at a time, bring each leg in. And just let those legs come in, just give them a hug. And in this position, you might be still or you might rock from side to side. Okay, Okay, you're taking your time going through this, letting how you move feel nourishing. So if there's a different way that you need to get out of this, then follow your body. Okay, you might roll to your side next. Always a good place to pause for a couple of breaths, just to take your time. And then when you're ready from there, you can come back to vertical. And even at vertical, if you can, take a moment just to let your body sort of find its equilibrium again. Hey, thank you for practicing today, and enjoy the rest of your day moving with ease and awareness. Take care, everyone. Namaste.